So many of you who know me to be a crier, and I am. So, Nasa, thank you for that today and for the band. So I'll be honest, I didn't know that song until Undine suggested that we use it for the service, and I'm very grateful that she did. Because it gave me an opportunity to learn more about Joni Mitchell and her life, and also that song. So traditionally, our faith has seen the term interdependence to be one focused on our greater ecosystems, our connections to it, and it even has upheld our focus of climate change under the wording of our seventh principle. But it may surprise you to know that this principle, along with all of the others that we claim to know so well, were only adopted in 1985 at the General Assembly in Atlanta, Georgia. They replaced the original principles adopted in 1961 after the merger of the Unitarians and the Universalist organizations. We are both. I know Steve missed the Unitarian. My Universalist heart soared when he did that, but we are, in fact, both Unitarian and Universalist. And I am no climate change denier, and I am incredibly concerned about the damage our human tendencies for immediate gratification and overindulgent consumerism are doing to our one precious home. And today, I would like to suggest that this isn't the only interpretation of our beloved seventh principle, that there is a practicality in seeing not only our environment connected to one another, but also a profound and deep interconnectedness that happens when we attempt to co-create community together. You may sometimes hear us remind ourselves, and all of you from the pulpit, that our faith is one in which we believe that all of us are divine in nature and connected to whatever the great beyond holds. Our religious ancestor, James Luther Adams, suggested in his proclamation of liberal religions that we, as Unitarian Universalists, believe that religious professionals and lay leaders alike all possess the power of prophetic voice. We are all prophethood holders. I believe that our deep connection to this divinity, this power, is how we can build community with one another. And the truth is that it isn't always pretty. Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air, those are some of the enchanting images that Joni Mitchell's song, Both Sides Now, we heard earlier, invite us to look at. And for me, these pictures conjure up all of the wonderful parts about being in community together. The gatherings that are full of laughter and joy, the amazing book reads and thoughtful commentary and reflection, the often, but not always, monotonous and vital board and committee meetings that move the community forward. Our involvement in this community allows us to become the strands of angel hair among us. Our participation with one another builds the great ice cream castles in the air that Mitchell sings about. Can I ask by show of hands in this room if you have experienced that sense of deep interdependence of community before? And I'd like everyone to keep their hands up for a moment if that's okay. So if you've ever experienced this, please raise your hand. If you're online, type into the chat a yes or a no. Now just take a look around at all of the people here in this room or online who have witnessed this aspect of community, a deep interdependence. You can put your hands down now. However, the song doesn't just stop there. Joni Mitchell goes on to acknowledge the other side of the coin when she sings, "But now these clouds, they block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone." For me, these are the disappointments and challenges that arise with being in human community. Maybe it's the frustration felt when our expectations of someone are not met, or when well-intentioned actions of ourselves or others inadvertently cause harm or hinder growth. These are just a couple of examples of how communities often fall short of their idealized visions. These experiences can leave us disheartened and question our interdependence to the community itself. So I'm just going to ask another show of hands. How many of you in this room or online have experienced this disappointment of community? And just take a look around in the room. And I think what is important for us to note is that it is about the same number of hands. And I'm not surprised by this. The song, our hand raising, all of these things remind me that the building blocks of community are individuals, and we are dynamic and complex. Each of us is capable of creating great harm and creating great healing in the relationships and the communities that we inhabit. Now, I know this is kind of countercultural because all of our folklore and our stories constantly pit this dynamic good versus evil, binary choices that are not nuanced, as though each of them are not wrought with their own complexity. And this is where I honor the teachings of our trans and non-binary siblings as they struggle for their own liberation, but I see my freedom wrapped in that liberation too. Because they are fighting for more than just a simple, broader understanding of the gender binary. I think they are inviting us to see the whole world as nuanced and complex, in a way that breaks down the traditional thought that any situation has but two polar opposite choices. We, and thus our communities, are a spectrum ranging from harm to healing. This means that at any given time, each of us might be a cloud in the community that blocks out the sunlight, but we equally have the opportunity to be the light and air-filled hair of the angels, inspiring those around us. I wonder if James Luther Adam was right in saying that we are all prophethood holders. I think he was. But I also think that we have the capacity of being prophethood destroyers. There may be more to both sides of us and the institutions we build, whether they are religions, cities, territories, countries, or alliances. Our individual actions and choices reverberate through our interconnected web of relationships within our own communities. I think we have a responsibility to recognize that our presence in these communities matter and our engagement is critical. When Mitchell says, "I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow," she doesn't know clouds at all. I think this is reminding me that in order to recognize the totality of community, I have to be willing to show up. I have to be willing to experience the full breadth of its presence. All of the wonder and all of the pain present in our human connections become important. For me, it's a struggle that I am still trying to figure out. With the politics of the country the way they are, I have found it easiest to disassociate with those whose conservative beliefs have harmed me and my queer community. It is so easy to just ignore the clouds raining and snowing on me and just move through my life with them at a distance. But today, at least as I wrote this, I was being asked to imagine what it would be like to be around those friends and family who are far, far more than the beliefs that they hold now. Can I hold on to the memories? Those times in my life when they were the angel hair and the castles in the air for me? I don't know. So what do we do with these complexities, with these nuances? Mitchell seems to suggest that we acknowledge them and we know and understand the limits to our own expectations of them. Maybe it means that I show up for a program even if I'm not that interested, Maybe it means I show up to Sunday service, even though the songs being sung are not particularly inspiring to me. Not today, not. Maybe my presence alone on that day is what is needed for me to be part of the community. Regardless of the answers to these questions, I am certain that I wish to be more of a prophethood holder than a prophethood destroyer. So I can try to be present more, to see the clouds from both sides, struggle with my limited ability to fully understand them, and just try. I hope each of you find a way in this complex world of today to see the clouds for what they are. May we be the ones present in that one imperfect world, work toward justice.